Welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be filming a book review for this book, Strangers Assume My Girlfriend Is My Nurse by Shane Burkaw. This book is about Shane, who lives with a disease called spinal muscular atrophy, and it is a muscle wasting disease. So he's in a wheelchair, he needs assistance with daily tasks, everyday things. This is going to be my book review for November, and I took some tabs. It is very funny, and it's like a memoir style book, and each chapter is like an essay about his life concerning with spinal muscular atrophy. I'm going to read the back as well. As I continue to lose more strength, I will need to adapt further, but that's the most beautiful part about making it work. Despite the fear and uncertainty of my condition getting worse in the future, I can live with relaxed confidence, knowing there will always be a way to overcome the next hurdle that life throws at me. I can't reverse the disease, but adaptation makes the downward slope less steep. Not only does Shane have a great sense of humor about his situation and his disability, but his style is really interesting. Like, it's very captivating. I literally read this book in 48 hours. I was gonna plan on reading it in November, but I read it in the last week of October because I was just like, I need to pick this up. I need to read this. Because if you don't know, Shane and his fiance Hannah are YouTubers as well. Shane has been an author longer than he's been a YouTuber. But I was really eager to get to this book. I think one of the most powerful chapters in this book, in my opinion, is chapter 2, where an older man breaks into his house, and he illustrates how, I don't really want to say powerless, but how vulnerable he feels in that moment because he can't defend himself because of his disease. And by the end of this chapter, it turns out that although he shouldn't be breaking into houses, this man had dementia, and for some reason there was something about Shane's house that was like triggering memories for him or something like that. So it eventually got worked out, but it just made him realize how vulnerable he felt with his disease. I have a disability in myself, so there was a lot of things, a lot of points Shane brought up that really resonated with me, and I'm like, oh, yes, somebody finally gets it. And one of these stigmas with any disability, not just certain diseases, is that people with disabilities have miserable lives. Like, they're always struggling, and they just won't have the same chances that able-bodied people do. And there's a story he writes about when he was 8 years old. He gets invited to speak on TV, and he's really excited because it's a charity that raises money for people with his disease. And he's really excited, but the way that the head of the charity is going about it is exactly what's wrong with society's idea of what disability is and how it impacts people's lives. This is a quote from it. We raise money for kids like Shane who live every day dreaming of a cure, who wish for nothing more than an end to their suffering, an end to their pain, who dream of running on the playground with their friends and being free from the wheelchairs that hold them back from so much. I stared into the bright lights and felt my face growing hot with shame. He was making it seem like I lived some awful, terrible life. I didn't spend every day wishing I could walk. I spent every day playing outside with my friends, doing homework, and being a regular kid. In fact, not being able to walk rarely crossed my mind. This really struck a chord with me because I feel the same way. I sometimes have people making that assumption too, like, oh, your life must be so difficult. Your life must be I'm so miserable. And it's like, no. I mean, I have challenges, but I always try to overcome them. If I need assistance, I ask for it. And there are, don't get me wrong, there are moments where I just have frustration of like, why can't I do this very simple thing? Like, for example, with my disability impacting the right side of my body, I can't tie my own shoe. So that is frustrating a lot of the time. It's like, why can't I just tie my own freaking shoe? But 95% of the time, your disability doesn't mentally impact you in the way that the charity was trying to make people believe. And building off of that, Shane makes an example of other people he knows with SMA who lead very successful and happy lives. I know a painter with SMA who has trouble lifting his arms but will blow your socks off with the art he creates. I know a mother with SMA who is raising children and working full-time with 24/7 ventilator support. These are the common stories of SMA, people thriving and making the most of the cards they've been dealt. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. There are times when living with SMA truly just blows. It's one hell of a disease, both physically and emotionally, but the beauty in life still far outweighs the negatives for the overwhelming majority of us. So, like I said, it's like you do have those moments of frustration, but ultimately you just keep going on with your life. There were powerful moments in this book. There were funny moments in this book. I really enjoyed Shane's style. I think I gave the book 5 out of 5 stars, which is very rare for me to do. And I've already bought his second book on my Kindle app. And I just really enjoyed this book. One of my favorite chapters, I think, is when he and Hannah, his fiance, go to Colorado, and Colorado is one of the states where marijuana is legal. And so they both try marijuana edibles. He's not really affected by it, but Hannah is. And just reading about how she's affected as they're like walking back to their hotel room is extremely funny. And he uses that opportunity to explain how, like, she helps him with everyday things. She helps him brush his teeth. She helps him eat. She puts him in bed and puts him in his wheelchair and, you know, all the things that he does need help with. But he was illustrating how their dynamic is such where for a few hours while she was high, essentially, the roles were switched. And he took care of her, and he was also illustrating how he is very capable of that when some people don't think he could be capable of that. So I highly recommend this book if you're looking for something funny and a quick read. I do think this is very easy to get through. There is one chapter, it took me a little while to read it. I had to put it down for a bit. I am affected by reading about suicide. It really bothers me. There is a chapter in here called Jerica, where he talks about a girl with SMA who did commit suicide. So just keep that in mind if you decide to pick up this book. Otherwise, 5 out of 5 stars. All right, so that was my review of Strangers Assume My Girlfriend Is My Nurse. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I'm really excited to start this as like a series, and at the end of each video, I will give you options as to what book I should review next month on my channel. So for December, do you want me to review The Stand by Stephen King, or do you want me to review The Wise Man's Fear? These are 2 books I am currently already reading. The Wise Man's Fear is a book that is the second book in a series. I really love it. But just be aware of that if you do vote for that one, or The Stand, of course. Hopefully I'll finish it in December. That is like my #1 goal. For some reason, I'm really bothered when I don't finish books. Like there was like, I think I was reading 3 books at the end of the year last year and finished them all in January. And for some reason that just really bothered me. I don't know why, but so I'm really, really trying to finish The Stand. And I'm listening to The Wise Man's Fear on audiobook. So I will definitely finish that by the end of the year because I can listen to it when I couldn't normally be holding a book. So yeah, those are the 2 books you can vote for. If you do vote for The Wise Man's Fear, I will like give you a summary of the first book so that going into the second book you understand what's going on. But yeah, just had a sneezing fit there. Leave your votes in the comments and I will come back in December with another review. And hopefully I will have another video before that one. I will see you guys all next time and have a great day.